Good afternoon. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at TWLO.com. Welcome to today's recap and look ahead. So big day on Wall Street after 3 or 4 days of chopping around where the futures open up and they sell it down and the futures open up and they sell it down. Finally, a clean-cut gap and go to close near the highs. Very cute right in front of, the big vote. Not this week, but the week prior, you heard the word Brexit probably 500 times versus the word Remain, and we talked about on Twitter how the consensus is wrong. That's when everyone bought the VIX. That's when everyone was getting all worried. And I'm like, the bookies are saying 75%, but everyone just wants to scare you out of your long-term positions or whatever it is, you might be doing. So anyway, with that being said, we'll see what happens tomorrow. The charts have been lining up for potential move above all-time highs for a while. We failed a few times. So I don't know if tomorrow is going to be the day or the next 3 sessions, but things look a little bit more constructive, and we'll have to see where we go from here. If you look at the chart of the SPX on a short-term basis, you do have this inverted head and shoulders pattern where there's the left shoulder, here's your head, okay, here's your right shoulder, and above this neckline this time, could yield you a big move, okay? Then you go back looking, all the way to the left, and basically this the S&P hasn't done anything for 2 years. So maybe this is the catalyst. Okay, maybe this will have Europe acting better. Maybe we'll get some, tailwinds over there versus headwinds. But all in all, this is, your double bottom from earlier this year. And this time we're starting from a higher platform, not from here all the way to the top where we failed, but from right around here. And even this is a higher low. So hopefully you're not just sitting short because of all the doomsday guys out there. Then this morning I showed you guys, the weekly chart, and actually let's go to the monthly chart where I'm like, guys, there's going to be so many friggin' crises out there, and hopefully, everyone doesn't just keep talking about it being in the market. Everyone hates this market because all they do is talk about the risk about being in it, not the risks about being out of it. Okay, look at this move from, into the 90s all the way to 2000. That's a huge move. Then for 12 years, yes, it took 12 years to get above this friggin' channel here, to then get paid for accumulating this in your 401k, your 529B, but you have to consolidate. And as an active trader, there was money to be made. Here is your descending channel, broke to the upside, your ascending channel broke to the downside, your descending channel broke back to the upside, and this time took out the double top and boom. So now here we are, okay, with a nice little bull flag, and maybe now you get your continuation. But that's a macro. All right, so let's go back to the daily. You go back to the daily, and you'll see that maybe now, okay, coming into the highs here, there's enough juice to take it out. Okay, maybe why is there enough juice? Okay, we talked about the Qs. Could the Qs break above the moving averages again? Kind of like it did here, and it did. So if you were looking for a long in the Qs, here you have a decent spot, okay? Granted, you have to take risk, okay, because of the potential vote. But all in all, the Qs look like they're kind of back in the game, okay, which is good. You need technology back in the game. Is it, there's still actually room here too. If this is going to want to go and you didn't want to take risk into the Brexit or the Remain, that's fine, okay. There'll be more than enough time for you to do so. The IBBs have been under pressure. Finally, a little bit of a move off the lows. So, if the IBBs want to continue, a little bit better that it finally had a little bit of a move out of the danger spot. So the IBBs did give you a trade. I was long the LBU all day today. I didn't take it overnight. Figured, I'll talk about that at the end, but this is kind of in the game. The Russell also, turned back up. The Russell's been very strong. We talked about, can we get a trade and close above this inside area? And it did. Okay, so the Russell is a vehicle to help the broader indice maybe go back to highs. Okay, and here was your nice little red dog reversal at the 200-day. And this already took out the 2016 high, showing some power last month. So, you do have participation across the board. If you look at high beta tech, no, it hasn't been great. But now, Amazon, if we get a little bit of help from overseas, Amazon looks like it's going to be ready to go. Amazon poked its head up out of this descending channel. Okay, poked its head up. So what does that mean? It means that maybe there's some leadership here and that'll help. Okay, it crossed above this 722 spot, and if you take a risk overnight, this is something that looks better. Okay, it looks at least like it could show some power and maybe get above all-time highs and show some leadership. But then Google and Netflix, which have been under pressure, gave you red dog reversals to maybe get out of the danger zone. Netflix was a great trade for us in the VTF. Let's do Netflix first. Netflix has been under pressure. Okay, a lot of guys made some good money here, as it, fell below this bear flag. But then today, this was my focus this morning. Gave you a nice little entry, okay, right here at 89.77, and boom, nice little day trade. And if you took home a little bit for follow through, fine, but you didn't even have to. But you made good money there. So maybe this gives a little bit of a move back into the moving averages. Google also in the danger zone, but you know what? Small red dog reversal at the 200-day. So some of you guys who positioned into it or made money here today, we'll see if you get a little bit of follow through. Not leading, but at least maybe coming off the bottom of the range to help. Okay, to help just get a little bit of a broader move. Facebook hasn't been special, but it too, looked like it tried to turn up a little bit today. Okay, whereas you have this inside range where it seems as if it wants to try and test the moving averages, it can and close near the highest today. So maybe there's a little bit more. So there's something there, especially if you got rid of it here. Okay, so maybe there's something for you. What I did is, the last half an hour of the day, I sold the 204 puts. I put it in Redler All Access because I wasn't able to do it in the public Twitter fear. I have to give, we have a private Redler All Access Twitter for my plays into the end of the day. Sometimes I put them on the public one, but it is for my product and my note, and some people ask for it. So anyway, what I did is I sold the 204s, the puts, for 52 cents or something like that. So I'm like, all right, if they leave, I have a 65 handles worth of cushion. So at least I'm involved versus, taking risks just in case something happens, and just in case even if they stay and we're down 10 handles, just to mess with everyone because we've been up every time. So figured that would be a good way to play it. 60. I wouldn't mind owning the spiders at 203.50 if something crazy happens overnight. So that's how I'm playing it. As far as that, because obviously in my active account for Alpha. So if you take things into binary events, you do. It's the same way sometimes I don't take things into earnings because you never really know the outcome. You take options. So instead of paying the premium, I sold it, and I figured the 204s were good. But 529 plan, putting money in for the past few years, that'll get benefit. Or if you're in a 401k, but that's different than if you actively trade. Okay. Oil looks okay. It's still hanging in there, looking like it's going to get going again. And then if you sold the TLTs on the outside day, which is what TLTs like to do to show you a top like it had here, maybe we gap up tomorrow, this gaps down, and you could be a buyer of the TLT into this spot. Okay, gold also gave you an outside day, okay, on the right here when it traded above this spot and failed. Okay, now it closed on lows, and if we gap up tomorrow, who knows? Maybe you could be a buyer of the GLD lower. Okay, this became very crowded. But so there'll be things to do if you didn't take risk into tomorrow, and there's been things to do all week if you've been just trading actively, but also it hasn't been the easiest as well. But so all in all, we'll figure out what happens tomorrow. If you're not that involved, okay. If what you think happens tomorrow happens and you're not involved, you're not going to get paid without any risk. So you have to take a little bit of something. And either way, come the end of the week, we'll figure out what's next week, and hopefully either way there'll be more movement. This will be out of the way, and we'll look towards the next thing. And at this point, lots of participation today. You didn't even have to come in long today. There was lots of things to do, even the new issue. You guys want to see the new issue? I talk about how to play the art of the first day. Well, look at the size of this candle. How could you have played this on an intraday basis? First things first, the first 15-minute high. Okay, which let's go to the 3-minute chart. Or 1 minute, okay, happened right here, okay, to start the day, and it actually did it quick. What just happened here? Hold on. All right, I'm not going to have time to do this. Okay, how could you have made money here? First move off the bat came into 20. This was hard because it did it fast. So first of all, it got above this opening print, which was right here. Okay, stayed above it. Really, the trade was when it took out 26. Let's go back to the 5-minute in the afternoon. Okay, it's hard to see it, but basically, right here. Okay, when after going sideways the entire day, it took out this 26 with authority. Midday, after consolidating, all the flippers got out of the way, and then boom, above 26, you had to move to 29. Pretty nice IPO. But anyway, So let's just close it out with, tomorrow I'll be in Short Hills. I'll be on, on Twitter, both ends, private and public, and no morning call, but we'll figure out what's next there. Don't stay up all night watching the vote. You're better off enjoying your summer evening with your wife, your kids, your friends, and to figure out what's going on tomorrow, because, the market will be there for you. Have a good night.